What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. And the first thing I want to discuss is this beef that's going down between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Now, I'm going to keep it all the way real with y'all. I don't have a dog in this fight because I think both rappers are whack. In fact, I think that Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem are the most hyped rappers I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, you're welcome to call me a hater all you want. I just happen to be a fan of that old school hip hop, from the Furious 5 to KRS-One, the Juice Crew, Nas, Biggie, Pac. You know, I don't like Jay-Z nowadays, but I did used to rock out to his music, right? I also was a fan of Wu-Tang Clan, Busta Rhymes, you know, people that really impacted the game, where you had to pound the pavement to actually sell records and to do your shows, to become noticed, to become relevant within the hip hop community. And I would be doing this video an extreme disservice if I didn't mention the women. How about MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, Nicki, Bahamadia, Lil' Kim, Lauryn Hill, and Salt and Pepper. And just taking a trip down memory lane, I really wanted to do some dirty things to Pepper. All of my homies, they love Salt, but I just had this thing for Pepper. You know what I'm saying? I could look at Salt and tell that she was gonna get saved later on. I knew that Pepper was gonna be a lifetime sinner. Now, don't start fingerboxing me in the comments, because there's nothing wrong with being saved. I'm just giving you my true thoughts and feelings about how I felt about Pepper at that particular time. Now, also, if you didn't hear your favorite artist called, don't worry, it's just too many iconic artists to name from back then. Now, as it pertains to the beef between Kendrick and Drake, I think two things can be true at the same time. The first thing is that the dominance that the male rappers used to have over the industry has come to a screeching halt, and the women are taking over. And I feel like this could be an attempt to get the juice back flowing, in which was a male dominant industry, to try to get their mojo back, because at the end of the day, a lot of these hip hop male artists been putting out trash. And so maybe, just maybe, they're trying to bring the best out of each other by dissing one another, hoping that it will lead to some quality music that we haven't heard in a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everything that the female hip hop artists are putting out is quality music, but you know, that Glorilla song, yeah, Glow, I mean, that was hard. Let's keep it all the way 100, it was hard. But what I am saying is that it just seems like the women are on top right now. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you agree. Now, another thing that's going on with all this dissing between the fellas, you know, from Rick Ross dissing Drake, and Kendrick going at Drake, and J. Cole went at Kendrick, I think, and he bowed out. Thanks for representing North Carolina. Give me your wig. Yeah, Cole, we never waved the white flag. You from Fayetteville. They call it Vietnam. Them boys get busy. I know you have it in your blood. And you gonna give up like that? I kind of got where you were coming from, but at the same time, I didn't like it. Being from North Carolina, we stand on business. But anyway, back to Drake and Kendrick. So I heard Euphoria and I heard Drake's push-ups, right? And so basically Drake was talking about how short Kendrick is, how, you know, many records he sold, that he's richer than Kendrick and things like that. And Kendrick was talking about the fact that Drake was bullied, the fact that Drake just appropriates black culture when it's necessary to improve his stock, whether it be monetary wise or whether it be just, you know, commercial wise. He's all in it for the money, and he really doesn't stand on either side of his nationalities, right? So basically he's saying that Drake is playing the middle. Now, Kendrick also brought up the fact that Drake is allegedly a bad father. I really didn't care about hearing that, because that's something that Pusha T told us a long time ago, basically, right? So you're just reiterating Pusha T's point. Now, Drake did call out the fact that Kendrick be doing a lot for his boys, you know, as far as spending money and splurging on them, than he does for women. Now, I have to say that I have witnessed that over the course of my life, where I've seen dudes do a lot more for their homeboys than they would do for their own family. And I wish that Drake would have just slid this diss within that record where Kendrick Lamar bought his sister a 2017 Camry. And I bet you Kendrick's homeboys are not riding in no 2017 Camry. They riding in anything that he's provided, and I'm pretty sure it's an upscale vehicle. And I don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, the sister has to work for it, oh, she has to learn how to budget and save money. He didn't want to bring too much attention to her with a flashy car. You got Bootsy out here with a less net worth than Kendrick, out here buying his daughter an AMG Mercedes Benz, even though he took it away because she was being disrespectful. But he has the same ideology I have. Now, I understand that there's levels to this, because we're talking about Bootsy's daughter versus Kendrick Lamar's sister, but at the end of the day, there's still blood. And me personally, this is how I think about it, and I know that some of you are going to have a difference of opinion. I'm not about to embarrass my sister and put her in a 2017 Camry when I'm worth $35 to $40 million. I just can't do it. Now, that's all dependent upon the relationship I have with my sister. If she's doing everything she's supposed to do, listen, I'm going to protect her. I'm going to provide for her. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. You know, it's not about trying to make her figure it out. If I've already figured it out, why can't I figure it out for my entire family? Again, dependent upon the relationship I have with them. Now, understand, I'm not saying that Kendrick's sister should be ungrateful with the car that he actually bought her. I'm just saying that I would have done better, because that's what real ninjas do. You set your family up for success. Now, maybe he didn't have it like that, because Drake said that he was in a bad record deal and basically he's getting bent over and you know what, for his money. Not literally, but you guys know what I mean. It's just too many people around Kendrick Lamar in his bag, you know, taking his money and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I want to get to something that Kendrick Lamar said within his diss to Drake. And so basically he brought up a situation indirectly that took place in Toronto. You know, Drake is from Toronto. And so basically this is what Kendrick said in his rap. He said, I be at New Ho King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and blammy. Crody, tell me you're cheesing. Fam, we can do this right now on camera, Crody. And so basically he brought up the situation that took place back in 2009 when Drake got robbed for the chain that Lil Wayne gave him in Toronto. And the person that actually robbed him was a guy, a fellow Toronto rapper by the name of Mustafa Omar, who went by the rap name Sizzlack. So basically Drake said that he felt that he was set up. He admitted to being robbed. But in 2018, I believe it was, or 2016, I believe it was 2016, Sizzlack actually dropped a diss track talking about the fact, you know, subliminally, that he robbed Drake. And then just a little bit after that, he ended up being deleted. And a lot of people, this is what the streets are saying. The streets are saying that Drake is connected to why Sizzlack is no longer amongst us. So what I want to do right here is play you guys a couple of clips of people talking about this Drake and Kendrick beef, and then I'll be back to continue this video. Sit tight.
This is why Drake and Kendrick will never squash their beef. Drake, who was already an established artist, showed love to Kendrick by putting him on Take Care. But not only that, Drake fought his label to bring Kendrick on his first major tour. Funny enough, with another person who Drake still has beef with to this day, the baby daddy of Rihanna, A$AP Rocky. After this, Drake would give Kendrick Lamar a feature on his album Good Kid, Mad City with the song Poetic Justice. And while Drake is thinking he's building a relationship with a friend, Kendrick Lamar had other plans. And things would never be the same. Because after Kendrick was featured on Big Sean's song Control, the world was shocked how he dissed every big rapper at the time, including Drake. And this is what Drake had to say about it.
I don't know, it just wasn't real to me. It's like, I saw him after that, and it was just like, love. So it's like, was that real, or was that just like for the people? You know what I mean?
I think it's a sparring kind of sport.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you know, then let it be real then, you know. I mean, because those were harsh words, right? So it's like, you can't just say that and then see me and be like, yeah, man, what's up? Pretending like nothing ever happened. Like that.
But things got worse, because Drake would double down and basically say Kendrick had no longevity.
And that verse was, he's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? Okay. And then but it was real cool for like, you know, a couple weeks. But like, if I asked you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
Since then, Drake and Kendrick have been trading subliminal disses on songs for over a decade. But if you had to pick a side, who would you choose? Drake or Kendrick Lamar? Only one can be the GOAT, so let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and follow for more updates.
Well, Kendrick Lamar finally dropped his diss track against Drake titled Euphoria, and I'm not even going to get into the song just yet, but I feel like it's safe to say that at this point, Drake has won the popular vote, but Kendrick won the Electoral College. And I'm saying this as somebody who listens to both Drake music and Kendrick Lamar music. I like both of their songs, but a spade is a spade. And this is why I wish we had like better, more unbiased hip-hop journalism like from the early 2000s, like The Source, King Magazine, XXL, Complex, like all of those things. Like at the NBA, they do these anonymous surveys where they'll ask like 100 NBA players, like, do you think LeBron is a legend? Who do you think is better, LeBron or Michael Jordan? And I think they need to do that for rap. Because I think if you got all the elder statesmen and women, the OGs of rap, and had them vote like Drake to Kendrick with these diss tracks, like who really won? I promise you, All of those OGs are gonna say Kendrick Lamar easily. And one thing I like about Drake is that I find him funny, and I do think he's gimmicky in a way that isn't necessarily bad, but isn't to me necessarily conducive to like classic hip hop. Like his diss track against Kendrick Lamar, like him talking about Kendrick Lamar's shoe size and having the shoe size as the cover, and then doing like the AI thing with Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Like, it was funny, it got a lot of attention and people were talking about it, but it was gimmicky. And I'm sure it bugged him, because a hater like myself, oh, it bugs me when I cuss somebody out and I want them to respond and fight back and they don't do anything. And Kendrick waited. Kendrick waited and waited and waited. He didn't immediately get into the booth and immediately respond. He took his time. He waited till the Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs, and he's like, now I'm gonna drop the And it's like, if you listen to Drake's Push-Ups and then immediately after listen to Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, to me, there's not even a question. Drake fans love to throw in the numbers. That's like the biggest weapon, is like, Drake's the biggest rapper, he's got the best numbers, he's had all these #1s, he has all these platinum records and Grammys, which is true. Drake is probably the biggest rapper out right now. Nobody's denying that fact. But in Pusha T's diss track, Kendrick's, and even Rick Ross, they pretty much all said, yeah, you have all that and you're still a fraud and nobody respects you and you're a loser. And Pusha T already said nasty things about Drake that made my stomach hurt. It made me feel sad, and he wasn't talking about me. And Kendrick did the same thing, but worse, and 6 minutes long at that. Like, to me, Drake's diss can be reduced to, you're short, you're 5'7", you're signed to a bad deal, and I sold more records than you and I'm richer. And I'm just like, okay. Kendrick said you were bullied, you're pathetic, you're a degenerate, you're a bad father, you're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist who wants to be accepted. He said, all that pushing P, I want to see you push a T. He's Terrence Thornton, I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm whooping feet, like, come on, please. Kendrick said, I'm a real hater, I hate everything about you, and I'm gonna put it in the song. It's like he responded to everything Drake said and more, and also said all this everybody else was saying. It's not good. And I've seen people be like, oh yeah, Push Up was just like a warm-up for Drake, he's gonna come back. And I'm just like, diss tracks should not be warm-ups. You gotta let it all out that first song. Why are we doing warm-ups? But like I said, I like both Drake music and Kendrick Lamar's music. I'm enjoying this beef and I'm having a good time. I'm not too chronically online and I'm not too involved. I'm just enjoying it like you should. I don't know what Drake is gonna do next. I don't know what he has to say. But all I know is, yeah, Kendrick won. I have to say it.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, when it comes to the diss tracks or whatever, I'm not a fan of either one of them. I just told you guys earlier in the video that I just think that they're overhyped. I've always felt that way. Drake doesn't really write his own music. Kendrick, I just can't get with his flow. I don't understand where everybody goes crazy over Kendrick. But if you push my back up against the wall and you made me choose which song I liked better, I would say I think that Drake rode the beat better in Push Up. Now, I get that Kendrick was saying some factual things. I get that, but I just cannot get with his flow. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't really resonate with me for some reason. I just can't get over it. But at the end of the day, I hope these two girls get it together and hug and kiss. Now, I want to move on and talk about Diddy, because I was watching a news publication and basically this anchor says something in regards to his case that I never heard before, right? So we understand that there were over 250 cameras that were at Diddy's house, and we understand that there was a lot of evidence that was seized, right? Videotapes, probably recordings. The main culprit being Clive Davis, in my estimation, because he does not want anything to get out in regards to things that he's done. But this anchor alluded to the fact that the feds may have obtained inappropriate videos of Diddy that Diddy recorded of him being with underage girls. Check out this video.
Gotta talk about Sean Diddy Combs. So, an associate of him, Brendan Paul, has been formally charged with 1 felony count of drug possession. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, with his attorney telling TMZ we'll be dealing with this case in the courtroom, not in the court of public opinion. So, this latest development has a lot of people wondering, why hasn't Diddy been charged? You know, we had that federal raid. It seemed like things were moving along quickly. But nothing has happened since then. So what do you think the holdup is?
I don't know, Christina. I'm very surprised that Diddy hasn't been charged yet. And this is why. There was certainly enough evidence to go into 2 of his homes. That means there's likely enough evidence to charge him as well and go to a grand jury and get an indictment. Now, there's the possibility that agents recovered so much evidence that they're still going through it. But really what we're talking about here, and probably the best evidence in the case, is the video evidence. Diddy is allegedly not only participated in these sex acts with minors, but he recorded it, if you believe Cassie and some of the other plaintiffs who have sued him. And
Alright, so you guys just heard that. Now, I was aware that there was possibly men and women being recorded at Diddy's parties. Anybody that Diddy probably was intimate and others that were intimate with each other at the party probably were on surveillance the whole time. Well, not probably, but we know that some people were caught on camera, right? I'm gonna say allegedly here. But I didn't know that Diddy had the nerve to actually record himself being intimate with undeveloped girls. Now, we know that there are claims and accusations against him of dabbling in that type of egregious behavior, but at the end of the day, is that what the feds have in their possession? And this is why it's taking so long, because they have so much evidence to stack up against Diddy that they're going through everything that they retrieved from his house. I mean, because at the end of the day, it does seem as though that they would have already arrested him, you know, but I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. But before I go, I forgot to tell you guys the second thing that I believe is going on with all this hip hop beef. And I think that it could be possibly rooted in causing a distraction. And I think it's applicable to the Diddy case because that's why they pushed it so aggressively to, you know, our community. Look at TMZ. They ran and did a documentary real quick, right? And they're trying to get us focused on the nonsense and not paying attention to what really means to us as Americans. Now, I'm not trying to say that the Diddy situation is nonsense, because it's not, because some people were seriously violated by him. But at the end of the day, once they smack the law in his face, or if they let him go, we still have to worry about survival. And that's the key. We have to stay focused and really pay attention to what's going on with our government. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to take the time to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything we discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.